Hello, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Unique Sports Talk. Hey, listen, we're going to do a reaction video to Stephen A. Smith, who's down bad after being buck broken by the Black Boule uh, for speaking out against and telling the truth about Jasmine Crockett. Here he is feeding into Trump derangement syndrome, somehow blaming the arrest of Chauncey Billups and this major gambling scandal that also includes illegal poker games and the mob, the recent mob, and he has a lot to say. And somehow he's got this deranged notion that this is only going on because Trump is president. Now, there's two ways to look at that. Because if that's true, then our justice system is more broken than if they need Trump to actually go after the criminal element. So before we get started, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment whether you agree with him, but tell me why you agree that this is really pertinent to this case. If you look at the faces of the people that he's going through this diatribe, I think they're bewildered. I think they're absolutely bewildered in what to say. And what the hell is this man talking about? What does that have to do? What does Trump have to do with actually the law enforcement officials, the FBI, actually doing their job? Trying to make a case that the only reason why these guys are getting persecuted right now is because Donald Trump is president. But these investigations started well within the Biden administration, if not before. So he's not even reconciling that. This thing didn't just come up. There's a lot of evidence that's years in the making. And this was the time to pounce. Now, if he was arguing about the timing of these arrests, I can dig that. But the president doesn't necessarily have anything to do with that. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has to have their day in court. I agree. But the way he frames this whole thing is because Trump is coming like he's just coming after people willy-nilly. I mean, there's got to be an underlying crime or else there's nothing to come for. All right, so listen, let's let him go. Now, based on the Jasmine Crockett thing, I generated of course, it's like an AI tune, but it's a tune on what it sounds like to be a buck broken man. And I attribute this tune to Stephen A. Stay tuned after this is over because it's not going to be long. It's like a 3-minute song about a buck broken man singing about his woes. And I attribute that song to Stephen A. Smith. So let's go.
We know what world that I live in terms of politics. How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming. He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the culture. When people want to go to a casino, when people want to gamble, when people want to party, or whatever the case may be, this was his kind of connection to that. Why am I glad you're here, Monica? Because don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Because when you've got all of these protests that have been going out there and people that have been protesting against him and what have you, this man is coming. He's coming.
Okay, so why would he go after the WNBA unless there's an underlying crime, Stephen A. Smith? I mean, if you kind of catch the people, the glimpse, wait a minute, let's see a glimpse of the people's faces. What is he talking about? What is he really talking about? That Trump is coming for the sports leagues? If there's no crimes, I mean, the WNBA is not in trouble because of Donald Trump. And Monica McNutt is looking at him and saying, what I'm going to say about this?
Been saying it for a long time. And to me, this is the latest nugget of evidence. that we're talking about right here. That's not to question the legitimacy of the case. We don't know. We're all sitting up here and we're saying that we don't know.
No,
But
you're sitting up there saying you don't know. You are questioning the legitimacy of the case, because if the case is legitimate, they need to be brought to justice. They need to go through the process. They need to be indicted. You need to make some arrests. You need to go ahead and get the case started. So if he came out and says, well, the timing of this is suspicious, and I'm blaming that timing on Trump. All right, but the way he's wording this thing, and even with Trump or Cash Patel being Trump's boy, but the truth of the matter is a crime alleged legit or not? Well, it seems with the evidence that's been put out that it's going to be really, really tough for these guys to beat these charges. This is not like the Diddy charges. They're not going to parade a battered woman up there. This is some real victims with some real gambling. And the thing that's the real problem is it's not Donald Trump. We're talking about sports. The absolute third rail in sports is gambling. Look at what they did to Pete Rose. And then look how they stabbed him in the back again by putting him in the Hall of Fame after he was dead. That was more like a slight than it was a benefit or some kind of tribute, right? That was to tell you that, listen, as long as you're alive, we're never going to forgive you for gambling. And so this is a big gambling scandal. And then the Costa Nostra is involved, and we haven't heard the mob names in years. And they're involved in this thing allegedly, and because of fixed poker games, and there's several NBA players who are indicted on both sides of this aisle. I don't see how Trump has anything to do with that.
anybody that has been around him, anybody that has talked to him, anybody that has seen his reactions from the sports leagues and the positions that people have taken, they are not surprised at what's going on today. I'm watching a press conference with the director of the FBI. Tell me when we've seen that. We've seen people, we've seen accusations before. We've seen athletes get in trouble with the law before. You don't see the director of the FBI having a press conference. It's not coincidental. It's not an accident. It's a statement.
It is a statement, Stephen A. It's a statement on how big this issue is. It's not just an athlete who was driving drunk. It's not just an athlete who tried to fix a game. This is a whole set of fixing games and all of this kind of stuff from a whole bunch. I mean, there's like 40 people in this, and there's a crossover to the actual mob, and there's extortion involved, and illegal sports poker games where people are losing a lot of money. There's a snitch somewhere, a few snitches somewhere. And you're over here saying this is Donald Trump. Of course, the FBI director has talked about certain cases if they're large enough. I mean, you don't remember J. Edgar Hoover? Why do we even know his name? Now, he was a crook, but hey, this is big enough for Cash Patel to say stuff. And Cash Patel, and this is not the only time Cash Patel has said anything. He's been in press conferences about big drug busts and everything else. So you're just all these things to try to prove your point. And your point is so weak. I mean, I don't see how Trump being the president on a situation like this is a bad thing with all of these underlying charges, right? And it's crazy. But ESPN, ABC, Disney, all of them, the NBA, WNBA, NFL, everybody's involved in partnerships with betting, right? So if they're all in bed together, the fact is that there needs to be curtains up, that nobody should be able to peek around and play around, that takes away from the integrity of the games. And you're sitting here blaming all this on Trump for being vigilant. And it's not even him, it's his FBI. So this is crazy. I'm gonna let you go ahead and say a little bit more of your diatribe, but really, man, you're down bad. You were cooned by the boule. You were buck broken, and now after all the shit you said, you're coming on First Take the day of this thing, talking about we should all be worried about Trump taking crime out of sports. Is that what you're really saying? Is that what you're saying? That he's coming for sports because just be coming after him, or are crimes being committed, Stephen A, or allegedly being committed that should be investigated? And if it wasn't Trump, they wouldn't be, and everybody would be fat, dumb, and happy. You're down bad, brother. You're really disappointing people, man. And you're going to be clowned for this, not just from some no-name like me, but I can't believe you're coming out saying this bullshit.
And it's a warning that more is coming. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're saying here. And everybody better, I'm just telling you, it's as serious as it gets. This ain't the platform for me to get into it the way I'm going to get into it. But I've been saying he's coming. He's coming. Because in his eyes, folks try to throw him in jail. In his eyes, he's innocent. They try to put me behind bars. I'm getting everybody. He's not playing. And so this...
All right, so I had enough of Stephen A. I do have another thing that I want to show you, that Kash Patel actually responded to Stephen A's diatribe. And so I'm gonna play that. I found it. So I'm going to play that for you. And then we'll come back. Let me go ahead and switch to that. Kash Patel actually did. Let me see if I found it. Found it really quickly. So yeah, this is Fearless. But all right, so here's Kash Patel's response to Stephen A. It's coming up.
Stephen A. Smith's lunacy, where instead of, let me play Kash Patel and then I'll tell you the other side of this. Play the clip.
Yeah, down the street. By the way, this was so wild. Stephen A. Smith, the sports commentator, suggested that this was revenge from the president for all the kind of left-wing activism of the NBA. Your response to that, 15 seconds.
I'm the FBI director. I just
There it is. There it is. You know, it's really, really crazy what's going on. So, like I said before, when it started, I put this song together, you know, and I just kind of put it into the AI generator, Buck Broken Man. And that's what I consider Stephen A. Smith, buck broken right now. He is absolutely buck broken. And so without further ado, let's just play that and this thing. Like, share, and subscribe so this doesn't get too long. And here's a little my rendition, and listen to the lyrics of a man singing how he's been buck broken. And I think that's what applies to Stephen A. Smith in this situation.
With a heavy heart, the weight of dreams lost tearing me apart. With shattered hopes I chased the fading light, a buck broken man lost in the night. Memories, they haunt my mind. Truth's a cruel mystery. a but broken man. I stare at shadows that dance on the wall. Each echo whispers of my rise and fall. The blues play soft, but you broken life, I'm gasping for air. With every sorrow, lesson learned. In the fire of struggle, my spirit burns. The road is long and the nights are cold. The story of a man with a heart of gold. Through the pain and tears, I still will stand, searching for hope. I'm a but broken man. In the silence, I'll find my way. A broken man will live another day.
Like, share, and subscribe to Unique Sports Talk. Art Payne here. Over and out.